There's something oddly beautiful about staring up at a robot the size of a building while it's deciding which part of you to vaporize first. Arc Raiders doesn't just drop you into chaos, it tossed you like a salad into a post-apocalyptic blender where teamwork, timing, and just a hint of panic are the only things standing between you and becoming future scrap metal.
I don't want to die here.
Hey, it's Cobra here to save you from all the paid, dishonest sellout opinions out there on games, movies, and shows. Topic of discussion today is Arc Raiders, a game that went into the lab and thought, what if Destiny, Tarkov, and Horizon Zero Dawn had a fucked up baby, but somehow that baby turned out to be better than you would expect? In today's video, I'm gonna give you my ups and downs for the game so you can decide if it makes you thirsty for more loot or if it makes you feel like a robot's next meal. Also, make sure you stick around to the end of the video for my overall review score on Arc Raiders. And as always, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want to thank all 2,400 of you that have subscribed to the channel so far. Would love to hit 3,000 by the time 2026 rolls around, and I'm confident we can do that over the next couple months. If you want to be a part of helping us grow on this channel and enjoy videos about games, movies, and shows, then maybe consider hitting that subscribe button to stick around going forward. But now that you've subbed, right? Let's get back to Arc Raiders. Okay, this is the kind of game that doesn't have a ton of modes and categories to it, so let's just get right to the good stuff here, and that is the gameplay. You might be asking what exactly is Arc Raiders all about though, if you're not sure. Well, in this game, you're a raider, and there's arcs, not like Noah's Ark, but more like the half-circle arcs. Yeah.
God, that sounds terrible.
But no, seriously, you're a raider taking shelter underground in the safe zone of Speranza, I think that's what it's called. But in order to supply yourself, you have to make your way up to the top world. Then it becomes a playground of choice. Will you loot a bunch of easy materials to get out ASAP? Will you go for those big loot areas and risk everything? Or will you leave your brother behind teaming up with another group? No, that last one was just me. That's all right. He'll be all right. He's good.
He's not good, okay?
The concept of this game is pretty simple, but also complex at the same time, if that makes any sense. It's an extraction shooter, which means you load up with your items of choice heading into battle. Then you pick a map of your choice, and then when you arrive, you must survive at all costs and loot whatever you can along the way. If you die, to put it simply, you lose everything you got, minus what you throw in your safe pocket. That's a little side tip from me. Don't forget to use that safe pocket. It's a lifesaver. If you are fortunate enough to survive, you head to one of the few active extraction points on the map and hope you don't get attacked by all the bad stuff out there. This is one of those niche subgenres I don't dive into too much on a regular basis, but this one in particular seemed very interesting. I feel like extraction shooters have a very specific style of player in mind to keep them intrigued, so this might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I assume if you're watching this video, you have some interest in it. It's just one of those kind of games that you don't explore a map and just find a bunch of amazing weapons on end here. It's mostly about finding the right crafting material for your next project, and that only appeals to some players. So anyway, we are going up top side now to loot your materials, and you'll find that you're not alone in this world at all. So let's begin by chatting about some of my favorite things about this game, and let's start with the arcs, aka the robots. When it comes to enemy AI in video games, it doesn't really get much better than this if I'm being honest. There's a hint of brilliance at play here, I'd even say. The arcs aren't just constant bullet sponges for you to get through while you worry about other players and looting items. They are strategic threats that detect, react, and legitimately flank and overwhelmingly swarm you in some cases. It can go from peaceful to chaotic in a matter of moments. The variety is satisfying too. You have your basic bots, if you can even call them that, like the Wasp, hornets, and annoying snitches that'll tell on you if you're being bad, and then rain down hell and fire on you for being bad. Plus more intimidating exterior powerhouses like the giant beetle-looking dudes and those spider drones that I stay far away from at all costs. And if you think the interior is your safe zone, well, you get reminded real quick that the underground is your only true safe zone. You get your face wrecked with these little creepy tick bots, and I can't forget about the rolling bomb bots that were constantly ruining my day and making my life a living hell playing this game.
I'm dead. No, don't check. Leave me the fuck alone!
But okay, say you start getting a good handle on the bots, alright, cool, whatever. Well, you absolutely cannot forget about the other potential danger of real-life players. This is an online extraction shooter after all. Real-life humans are as greedy and threatening as ever. I will admit the game is a little tough in the early going, but if you stick it out and stay with it, I think you will like the aspect of this game as far as the humans go. Yes, people are absolute savages, but for me, that just brings so much extra to the table here. You'll be casually looting a cluster of buildings only to be met with the classic, "Hey, don't shoot me" emote. Then suddenly your heart starts racing a little bit faster. Do you really trust their emote proposal? Or do you say F it and take position and get ready to defend yourself? Even when you do mutually agree and things seem to be good, you're always keeping a close eye on them. It's kind of like dating somebody that's cheated on somebody in the past. One eye open at all times.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
Because at any single moment, anyone can decide to turn their back on you and feast on all of your loot. Me personally, I was your modern day citizen, always doing what's right for the team and never, ever stabbing my newfound friends in the back at all. I promise.
Can you hear me?
I wouldn't even fathom the idea of betraying anyone. Seriously, who does that?
Don't shoot! Hello, Raider? Hey, don't shoot! Hello, Raider?
The game really does test your human morality without a doubt. For reviewing purposes, I purposely started killing players at one point just to test it out for this video. You can't make up the timing of these things though. The very first match I was gonna go on my rampage, I meet this dude that I'm about to shoot in the back of the head. Then this man starts healing me. Then he's protecting me from a bunch of robots that stormed the castle. Then he's supplying me with ammo, takes me out to dinner, starts buying me nice things, and I couldn't bring myself to kill him. Unfortunately, I eventually lost him in the chaos of the map and made my way to the extraction point. Then the world threw me another victim at the extraction point, but instead of turning into all-out war here, it turns into a friendship dance circle. In all seriousness though, do yourself a favor and find a friend or a family member that you can actually truly trust to have your back in Arc Raiders, because the trust can go out the window real quick in this game. I've legit had people even come up to me and tell me that they have no clue what they're doing and they just started and don't want to die. Can we stick together, blah blah blah, and minutes later they're blowing my head off for all my hard-earned loot and I'm pissed and I quit for the day. There's just something to it about that unknown in this game that just hits for me on all levels. You'll be feeling safe with another player or two watching your back for a few moments, but in the back of your head you know they might be watching your back behind a scope lens instead of actually keeping an eye on you. While we are on the topic of shooting and fighting, I gotta say the gunplay and the fluidity and the overall movement really feels strong as well. Everything just feels crisp and snappy, leading to a very, very enjoyable experience while you get involved in those potential firefights. And since you are in a third-person perspective, you get a good sense of spatial awareness while you are roaming around. It's very useful when you are being stalked by another one of those players or a giant spider robot wanting to end you. Sadly though, if you are found by one of those spider robots or anything else dangerous, or if you have to go a long way from point A to B, I've found stamina to be a little bit of a pain in the ass for me. You'll get into one of these epic robot chases only to have your momentum and fun killed on an instant when you run out of stamina 10 seconds into your escape. And from that point, unless there's a multiple layered storied building next to you to hide in, you might as well just give up and surrender. Definitely more of a nitpick thing, I'll admit, but I don't know, when I'm having fun dodging lock-on lasers and scrambling for cover, only then for my character to need a coffee break already or a nap, it gets annoying and it sucked in my opinion. Up to this point, I am curious or not if the gameplay loop sounds repetitive and boring to you or not. On paper, I look at extraction shooters like this and tend to think that myself. For Arc Raider specifically though, I think something that kept my interest a lot was the randomization of everything. I'm not an extraction shooter expert or anything, so this might go unsaid. From enemies to loot, when you jump into a match, you get different layouts of everything every single time. Some matches you'll go through one big specific skyscraper, peacefully looting cabinet after cabinet. Then the next match, you'll head to the same exact building, only to get a greeting party of bomber bots waiting for you to say, "Hey, motherfucker." Gotta be honest, there's only so much to go in depth with at a game like this. So that's it for the gameplay side of things. Let's dish out those ups and downs. I'm gonna give an iffy up to the overall gameplay loop. This is probably the weakest up of any because this is the type of loop that's not for everyone, but I found it fun enough to get it up. As you enter a match, an up goes to the PvP mechanic for always keeping you on your toes, and of course another up for the incredible Arc robot AI. That's a lot smarter and deadlier than you might think. They'll definitely have you running for your life many times, which leads us to down number 1 for the annoying stamina system that was getting on my nerves way too often. And one final gameplay up for the randomization of enemies and loot, providing freshness to almost every match you play. Again, sorry there's not a lot of sections in this video, but there's not a lot of categories to jump into. I usually start with visuals in my review videos, for instance, but the gameplay is too important in a game like this, so let's do it now. Whether it matters or not in extraction shooters, the graphics here are surprisingly breathtaking as it gets. Based on the cover art, I legit expected this game to have like a semi-cartoon animated look to it. It's just the way it came off to me, but it does not. Unreal Engine is at its finest is all I gotta say about it. Just look at these light glares, for instance. The game also ran as smooth as a baby's bottom through my entire playthrough. Not one crash or issue or even glitch, and that's something you could say about modern gaming pretty often, and this game didn't have any of those issues. Visuals also tie in with the maps given to you. There are 4 maps that you can completely unlock as you play through, with a 5th actually coming in the near future. 4 might not sound like a lot, but they are large enough and in depth enough to keep you amused for dozens of hours. Starting with Dam Battlegrounds, also known as the starter map. This is an above average map with a mix of terrains like swamps, forest, and dams. I found the layout of this map to be a bit annoying in some areas as far as traversing goes, but all in all, it's less chaotic than the other maps, which is perfect for all players beginning their Arc journey. The 2 highlight maps for me were the second one and the final map you unlock, Buried City and the Blue Gate. Buried City is, well, a buried city. There are tons of large buildings as you would expect in a city for you to loot. You could have multiple squads in one building and not even know it. And again, talking about the graphics, the desert look of this place was super immersive. From the sun rays on the sand to the gritty underground metro stations, which does actually lead me to another point here. There are 3 different ways to extract in this game, and that's something that could go overlooked if the devs really wanted to. They could have easily been lazy and did one method for escaping for all the maps, and they don't. For example, the city map here, you find your way fighting through underground metro subway stations to try to get on a subway train to get out. And that subway train could potentially load enemies from either side of the station, so it keeps you on your toes. Then the original map has you calling an elevator out in the open, leading to an entirely different feel as you attempt to stay alive while waiting for said elevator. And the final map, Blue Gate, has a method that kind of mixes both of these things together. Blue Gate is an awe-inspiring mountain area filled with large open countrysides and towns of buildings crumbling to the ground. Elevation is a big advantage on this one, making that previously mentioned extraction situation even more dangerous to attempt. But okay, as important as in-game play stuff is, a looter/extraction game has much more to it in the actual menus. And let's start with the bland-ass creation system I was not a fan of right out of the gate. I hate when third-person games specifically have a bare-bones character creation system, since you can actually see your character unlike first-person games. You get a dozen or so face options, and same with the hair, and then a few outfits and backpack choices, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And oh wait, I see why that's the case. Oh, cause there you are, Mr. Store Tab. Yes, full credit to this game for only charging us $40 instead of the 60 or 70 usual bucks it costs to get a game nowadays. But that does not give you a complete pass from your overpriced Store Tab. $20+ for everything in here. There's the door right there, Arc Raiders. Get the fuck out of here with this nonsense. I don't really feel like getting too fired up about the store today, so let's circle back to some good stuff. Here on the menu, you'll meet 5 traders that can sell you pretty much everything you'd ever need. They also will hand you out these constant quests to give you something to do while you are on the front lines looting for some extra bonus stuff. Find the specific item they want or accomplish the specific objective they provide, and you'll be rewarded with free items that can be crucial in a game like this. If you don't feel like saving up to purchase items, you can build a bunch of different workbenches to craft what you need instead, which is really the main purpose of this game, I guess you would say. Here is where all the looting comes into play at its finest. You might need chemicals for this item or fabric to craft a new bench or bandages to stay alive. Then you can make your way over to the well-designed inventory UI and organize everything you need and don't need. Whether it's in-game or on the menu, as a console player, I gotta say this UI was very well done. I had almost zero confusion or issues navigating through it to organize my stash or just what I take out onto the weapon or the battlefield, whatever you want to fucking call it. It's very clean looking and laid out nice and clear for all types of players to understand, no matter what your experience level is with games like this. And considering that loot is probably the biggest aspect of the game, you have to nail this kind of thing, and I think they did. And I gotta be honest, that's really all I have to say on Arc Raiders. Let's give some ups and downs for the miscellaneous section. As we just mentioned, a big time up goes to that UI inventory layout. I think it looks amazing and I enjoyed it a lot. To keep you motivated while playing, another up goes to the many shops and quest options you get as you play through this game. Although to play the game, you sadly gotta create your character, and a down goes to the limited and bland creation suit. And the usual modern day massive down goes to the stupid Store Tab for even existing and having the balls to charge $20+ for this nonsense. When you're ready to jump into a match, an up goes to the 4 unique and well-designed maps you'll get to choose from. And once on those maps, another up goes to the Unreal Engine, providing you with some stunning visuals. And one final up as well goes to the overall stability of this game. Modern games struggle with this kind of thing, and Arc Raiders is not one of them. Well, here we are. You gathered your loot and extracted successfully to the end of this video. Without wasting any time, let's talk about my final score on Arc Raiders, finishing with a final tally of 9 ups and 3 downs if I calculated correctly. I'm between 2 numbers for my final rating, I gotta admit, but I can only give the game one of those numbers, and that one is gonna be a great 8 out of 10. The game is not perfect, it has stamina issues, store prices, and boring character creation, but unpredictably fun gameplay and never-ending looting within these worlds with the awesome enemy threats at all times will keep you going for dozens and potentially hundreds of hours. Let me know if you plan on buying Arc Raiders or what you thought of the game in the comments below if you've already played it and bought it yourself. Be sure to sub to the channel as well if you enjoy videos on games, movies, and shows. I hope you have a great rest of your day. That is going to be it for me in this one. See ya!
I don't know where it is. Stay my happy ass right in here. There's 2 of them here.
Don't shoot!
Rockets.
Stand by.
Okay, go, go, go. Pretty popular indeed.